I hate videos. Now, you may be wondering, if I hate videos, what the heck am I doing here? Woohoo! Happy Friday, everyone. It is Friday, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you because I get to spend this hour with you and introduce somebody that I've been connected to. Um, if you and I don't know each other yet, my name is Ingor van Roy, and I'm recognized as a connection catalyst. What that means is I help entrepreneurs to develop a social media strategy to stand out and connect with the ideal community. If you know anything about me, or if you need to know anything about me, the one thing that I want you to know is that I am driven by a principle called Ubuntu. And here is the definition of Ubuntu. It's an ancient African word meaning humanity to others. It is often described as reminding us that I am because we are. And the reason why I believe in this principle wholeheartedly is that the person that you see before you today would not be here were it not for the people that I've met along my life's journey, as well as the experiences that I've had. I'm super excited to be able to shout out my awesome friend Rolonda, and we're going to be bringing her on screen shortly. Before we do that, please drop us a comment and let us know where you're tuning in from. It would be awesome to make you part of our conversation and to be able to acknowledge you being here with us. And I recently made an awesome announcement. And for those who have missed it, I'd like you to know that every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. South African Standard Time, I go live with a brand new show called Wonder Women Wednesday. It's no accident that this was launched during the month of International Women's Day because I just want to be able to highlight those awesome women who think they're ordinary, but they're making an extraordinary difference. Please note that this is a 2-hour show where it is live on 𝐓𝐴𝐞 Radio. It's an online radio station. And then it goes live on LinkedIn for an hour, right in the center of that live stream, where I interview somebody who is part of my community, live on LinkedIn as well as YouTube, and 𝐓𝐴𝐞's Facebook page at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6:30 p.m. South African time. Um, this is a good time for me to let you know that this show is proudly brought to you by AKR, 𝐓𝐴𝐞 Radio, which is a South African online radio station, and they are our sponsors for today. If you'd like to listen to them, please check out the link that is scrolling across the screen. It's 𝐓𝐴𝐞.�CO.ZA. You can check out the link. There are some awesome presenters there. And I will let you know that 𝐓𝐴𝐞, although it is based in South Africa, it is becoming a global phenomenon. Yes, you heard me, a global phenomenon, because yes, they're based in South Africa, but We are also expanding our reach, and we have sister radio stations here with me in Canada as well as in Auckland, New Zealand. So please check out Africa Radio's page on LinkedIn. They have a brand new page. Please go and follow them and give them some support because it's a community radio station that really is striving to do their best to help the community and help people within the community become their best selves. So, thank you. We've paid our bills. Let's bring on my awesome guest. Hello to you, Rolonda.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you, my dear?
How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for asking. I'm well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for being here.
No problem. No problem at all.
I'd love for you to please introduce yourself and let the audience know who you are and what you do.
Okay, sure. My name is Rolonda Stephens-Stewart. I am a resident of the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am the mother of two active football players, teenage boys, a junior in high school and a freshman in high school. Speaking of football, I'm a big football fan. We have football traveling team tournament this weekend.
Oh,
So in my household, we eat, sleep, breathe football. However, I am also currently the assistant education director and the admissions coordinator at a pre-K through 8 school here in the Pittsburgh area, in the heart of the community Wilkinsburg. I am also an after-school lead teacher for my girlfriend's daycare, Each One Teach One. I love all things education. I have been tagged the Education Empress 412. I've also been tagged Socially Supreme Southern Belle 412. So I'm happy to be here to engage with Ingor and her followers and listeners.
awesome. Could you adjust your screen because we can't see your face?
Oh, that.
Awesome. Yes,
There
that.
we go. There we go.
That
And
works.
I'm wearing my Each One Teach One shirt because I have to go there this afternoon. So I love all things education. Our kids are our future. I just came back from an education conference, Pre-K Counts, Pennsylvania State of Pennsylvania conference up in the Poconos at Kalahari Resorts. Phenomenal. To be able to network and meet other educators that are about the same thing it was very humbling and a phenomenal experience.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's say hello to our audience. Just greet everyone. We have Raven tuning in from Cape Town, South Africa. Thank you for tuning in, Raven. Nice to see you here. And of course, we have you also on YouTube. And then we have my friend Whitney. She says, "Good morning and happy Friday from Sugarland, Texas." Nice to see you. I love to see networking in the comments. Um, so I'll just leave that over there. And Gail says, just down the road from Inga, who is now a radio star. Oh my God.
Yes, she is. Ingers on the radio. Good stuff.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
stuff.
Thank
Phenomenal.
you. Thank
Phenomenal.
you. Thank you. And then Dr. Alex Rosa says, good morning, ladies.
Sunshine. Hey.
Whitney says, woohoo! Pennsylvania, Penn State grad
Oh,
right here.
wonderful. I just drove past there by this football stadium on the way back home yesterday.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Awesome. Awesome.
And Dr. Alex says she's tuning in from Ohio. Nice. Thank you.
Very good. Very
And Kristen says, good afternoon, all the way from Cape Town, South Africa.
awesome.
Thank you. This is for you. Go ahead and read it.
Oh, wow. Dr. Alex, you're such a sweetheart. My powerhouse woman, Rolonda. Oh, sweet pea.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for dropping us a comment. And again, if you're watching live, please drop us a comment and let us know where you're tuning in from. We'd love to be able to acknowledge you. And thank you for supporting this live stream. Rolonda, let's dive in.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. So, Rolonda, tell us what inspires you?
I would say first and foremost, I have to give honor and thanks to God for waking us all up to see another day.
Amen.
Um, I would say what inspires me is I'm always striving to be what my Heavenly Father wants me to be.
Mm,
And of course, my two teenage sons, and of course, my family, and of course, my friends.
mm,
Um, the children that I service at my school, Pittsburgh Urban Christian School, it's also referred to as the acronym PUCS, is also what inspires and motivates me.
mm.
I love the babies because they're our future.
Yeah.
Um, it was nice while I was at the conference the last 2 days in the Poconos. Michael Bonner, who's a teacher at the Ron Clark School in Atlanta, talked about building a community around our children. And that's what motivates me. I've been an education advocate for over 20 years, um, but I just actually dove into the education profession, like I would say officially, for lack of a better way of saying it, because being the assistant education director and admissions coordinator is truly my first education job in a sense, besides, being an advocate for over 20 years. And that's my why. Just being of service. I consider myself a servant leader. And in education, I feel as though for all of our kids to be successful, the more servant leaders we have to rally around our children and be of service and be a community and a village to raise these children, the better.
Yes. It's so sad that I can say this, but there are so many people that really um, do they're in education not for what they can do for others, but what that role can do for them. Yeah, I've experienced it firsthand as a parent, with my three kids, and we need more people that are passionate about education, that want to see our children thrive and see them as our future, because that's what they are. They are definitely our future. So it's awesome to be able to know you and to know how passionate you are about
Yeah.
educating our young people.
It's
So
important.
thank you.
It's, important. It- it's hard work, but it's
Yes.
value. It's just I could talk about it all day. I could just talk about it all day.
Yes.
Talk about it all
Awesome.
day.
Awesome. Okay. Can you tell us who was your role model growing up and why?
I would say parent. Both of my parents were the first two in their family to go to college and graduate. I'm so proud of my parents and all that they've accomplished and everything they've instilled in me. And my dad um, moved me and my mom to Pittsburgh because he got a job out of college to be a history teacher. And I remember just sitting around the dinner table with them and my two younger sisters and just hearing all the stories and their struggles and what they went through, in their jobs, in their professions, and to see them persevere in spite of their very, very humble beginnings is what inspires me and what motivated me. And then also, I would say my high school business teacher, Mr. Gibson, who became a family friend and was at me and my sister's graduations from high school, our graduation parties. He was the only African American teacher in our high school, and he taught business classes. And I would say that's what inspired me. I've avoided education world until for 50 years because I was 50 last year, and I always said, "Oh, you take a special person to do that. I don't have the patience or tolerance." And look where God has led me to be. So, it's,
I
yeah,
have
that's
to laugh
how
because
I
God
am.
has a sense of humor, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Did I have to laugh because God has a sense of humor?
Yes, very much so. And I'm living proof and a testimony to you can think you have a plan, but his plan is ultimately going to be the one that wins. Ultimately.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy that you're saying that because I just said it last week um,
Girl,
on
wow.
my show. Yeah, we can plan and plan as much as we want, but at the end of the day, God is the one that's in control and He orchestrates it all.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome. I can so relate to what you said, because my dad comes from humble beginnings as well.
Mhm.
Um, and when he was 19, actually, his father was murdered, and he
Mm,
was the eldest. And he had to, go out and start working for the family. And he at that stage he was already he had to be the breadwinner, which was difficult. But eventually, what he actually did was he achieved his honors in education, and that was, I think, for him it was a very big deal,
mm,
because of where he came from.
right.
Um, but yeah, he was a lecturer at a college, so
Yeah.
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 I,
It's I'm sure you're a daddy's girl. I apologize. My home phone is ringing. It's way over there, so I'm not gonna grab it. But my sister's also an educator, and she's been in it. My oldest son is 16. She's been in it about 18 years.
mm,
And you have to have a love and be. It's important that you have. I was just talking to my colleague. It's
yeah.
important to have that fire and that love of learning and teaching because there are far too many educators that are in it as a stepping stone to the next step, or they don't have their heart in it, and it makes it. They're doing.
Hmm.
I consider that doing a disservice to our student, any child. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I often laughed because when I was, oh my gosh, when I was in my 20s, I actually became a lecturer. And I said, yes, education is in my blood.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's who it's part of who I am.
Yeah.
And now, um, even though when I moved to Canada, I moved away from that.
Mhm.
Um, but now I'm a coach. Like seriously, I can't get away from it, and neither can you.
Yeah. It's like I have aunts and uncles and all different people that were educators and different things. And so I guess everybody says my dad is like, it's in your blood. You ran away from it, and look where you are. And I'm like, yeah. And, uh, it's a wonderful feeling, though. I look forward to going to work every day and being around the babies.
Yes, because you get to see your work,
Mm,
and see it what actually happens from what you do, right? You
exactly.
get to see that before your eyes, and it's so important to be passionate about what you do. And last week, actually, one of my guests, her name is Candace, she said, do what you love and love what you do.
Exactly.
And someone said that they thought that those two meant the same thing, but when Candace explained it, it doesn't.
Yeah. You're
It
right.
doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Two totally different things.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I finally am doing what I love, and I love what I do. And
Awesome.
I guess that's why I'm grinning from ear to ear because I just love the babies. I just meeting them where they are and helping them persevere in spite of
Mm,
is the most rewarding thing for me.
yeah. And I will say that, even though before you weren't in education,
Yeah.
um, I think as an institution,
Mhm.
but you were in education because I remember you've told me that, your son's friends call you Mama Stew, and
Yeah.
that the way that you speak to them, and you help them right, not just, it's not a chastisement, it's to help them become better.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, the football teams, the travel football team, um, their friends that they've been friends with from elementary school, everybody, Mama Stew, Mama Stew. So, and I love it because I really truly believe it takes a village to raise children. There is not one person that can raise children on their own. It's a community. It takes a community and
Yes.
support system. You know, even when I was growing up, I remember having a community in a village. Everybody needs that. And then when we get back to that mindset, I think it'll be better for our youngsters and our
Yeah.
young folks. I really truly do.
Yeah, we need to look at these young people as not your children, but our children. Right?
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and I can so appreciate that. I'm an immigrant. I live in Canada, but I'm originally from South Africa,
Mhm.
and I don't have many people that are part of my children's lives. But I will tell you that over the years, they've had s- even teachers
Mhm.
that have taken on that role. And um, I was speaking to my 7-year-old last week, and I said, if anything happens at school, I know it's difficult, but you need to go to your teacher as well because. And she looked at me and she said, I don't like to. It's not that easy to just walk to tell her, what's happening. And I said, but you have to realize she's your mom at school. That's what a teacher is. It's your
Right.
mom at school.
Right. And believe it or not, the my sons have school moms from middle school and elementary school that keep in touch with them even now. Their pediatrician is an African American lady, and she just retired last year. And she texted me this week to ask me how's her boys doing. She's going to be at the graduations and this and that. And that's what it's really all about.
Mm,
Creating a safe space for these children when they're
yeah.
having problems and issues. Because your mom and dad are not going to always be right there.
No.
But you need that village and that community to embrace you and help you along the way. And as long as they're all like-minded individuals and looking out what's in the best interest of the child, you can't win, you can't lose. It's a win-win for everybody. It's a
Yeah,
win-win for everybody.
exactly. Let me say hashtag Ubuntu. I am because we are, and
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 that's
that
what
is
you do.
applicable to us all,
Yes.
really. So, I wanted to say, I wanted to tell you this before I started live streaming and even really coming on shows. It took me a long time to be able to do it and just be, um, I think, be confident in myself to be able to come and be here. And knowing, and not confident that I look a certain way, but more that I'm going to bring value.
Right.
That was what I wanted to. I wanted to know that I would be able to bring value no matter which conversation I'm part of. And somebody actually invited me to be on their show, and I remember thinking, hell no, I'm not doing that. And it took me. He kept coming back. I said, let me think about it. He kept coming back, and he would follow up with me every few weeks. And I think probably after 2 months, I said yes. And he sent me, knowing how I felt about it,
Mm-hmm.
he sent me the questions so that I could prep before the show. Um, and when I received the questions, one of them was like, "Oh crap, what the heck am I gonna say here?" And but it really helped me to think about who I am and the value that I bring.
Right.
And now it has become one of the questions that I ask my people
Mm-hmm.
because this question helped me to realize that I do bring value and that I can share more of who I am, but
Mm-hmm.
in a positive way, right? So let me ask you the question.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
um, so the question is, what is your life statement?
That's a good question. Huh.
I'll tell you mine, right? Because I love people, and that's why Ubuntu is such a big part of me, right? So the life statement that I actually wrote when I was posed with this question was to positively impact the lives of others.
Mm.
And I know you may not have a formal life statement, but you have something that drives you. This is why you are so passionate about XYZ, right?
You're gonna make me you're gonna make me think about this after this and come up with one. Um, I don't know what my life statement would be, but I can say that one of my favorite words is sunshine, as you know. I'm
Yes.
sure. I would say it's something along the lines of spreading sunshine to everyone I come in contact with. It would be something along those lines. And that's just going off the top of my head because I strongly feel like we are each individual and each person we come in contact with, we don't know their struggles and what they're going through. But a simple good morning or hello, how are you can change the whole trajectory of their day. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm all about. And that's why I can't remember who it was. Somebody when I worked in the corporate world, because 25 years in health insurance, management and leadership. Someone called, tapped me as the Southern Belle. I was like, Southern Belle, why do you say that? Like, because and they said, because you speak to everybody. And then when I thought about it, I do. And my boy said, oh my God, if we go in this store, you know one more person, mom. Oh my God, if you adopt one more kid, mom. But I feel like that's my purpose. I believe and I started doing that when I went to college in Florida, at Florida A&M University. Because in down south, they speak to everybody, whether they know you or not. And that's where it originates from.
Yeah.
Despite the I was raised in Pittsburgh, in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, I was born in Huntsville, Alabama. My parents went to Alabama A&M. So I guess, and after a minute, I was like, yeah, I'll be the Southern Belle 412. I don't mind that. That's a compliment. And if
Yes.
your intentionality of spreading sunshine, light, and love, the world would be a much better place.
It would.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Um, I see that we're getting some comments here, so I'm going to
Cool
uh,
bean.
bring them up so that we can respond to them. Oh, yes. Whitney says we are. Whitney, I have to I have to show you my t-shirt.
With the butterfly, I saw it. It's cute.
Yes. Um, Whitney loves butterflies, and this one at the bottom it says spread your wings.
Yes, that's wonderful. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we are so much part of each other.
Yep.
Dr. Alex says Rolonda cares so much. Big
Oh,
heart. Yeah.
peace, sunshine. Thank you.
Whitney says educators are way undervalued.
True.
Whitney was an educator and she's actually since left education. She's working in the corporate world now, but she
Yeah.
taught grade school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. Because I tell everybody, education,
Yes.
thank you for your service.
It
Nurses,
is.
because it's true.
Yeah. Yes. Education is definitely an act of service. Whitney
Yep.
says, preach. Raising kids without a support system is hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Incredibly. Incredible.
Yeah. Gail is saying we need to embrace community with raising children. Absolutely. It is. It's tough, man. I, you
Raising
know,
nowadays is hard. It's hard work. It's hard. And I just think about because I'm getting ready to be an empty nester in 4 years. And my boys are 15 months apart. And I used to say, oh, I got to hurry up and get ready. I got to get ready. I got to get ready. My mama Esther said, baby girl, it's not about getting ready, it's here. So you need to be ready. And it's hard. I couldn't imagine raising kids nowadays because I think back when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s and 90s. It's like there was no internet, there was no YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, social media outlets. It's so much harder, I feel, to raise children nowadays with all the technology and different things that are going on. It's
Yep.
rough. It's a hard job. It always has been a hard job because during my time, it was something else that my parents didn't have that I had, and it's just the evolution of time. But I feel like it's more imperative now than ever that it has to be a community and a village. It has to be.
Yeah, there's so much I find there's so much negative influence now,
Mm,
more in comparison to even what I went through
mm-hmm.
when I was growing up. And I find I used to, my husband and I, we often say this to our kids, you know what we used to play with when we were children?
Right? Exactly.
Outside.
Exactly. Exactly. Or riding bikes, excuse me, or
Yes.
having fun outside. But I do believe that some parents, and I don't mean to get on the soapbox, but I do believe that some parents are raising their children to be their friend.
Mm,
And I don't want to get emotional, but my oldest son is 16. He says, "Mama, you're my best friend." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm still your mama." He's like, "Yeah, I know you're gonna keep me on the straight and narrow. There are boundaries, but I know I can come to you and talk to you about anything." And I'm
that's
like, that is what the goal is for me. But even in my after school program, I see these young kids and they on there making TikToks and the way they dancing. I said to myself, I wouldn't even dance like that now at 50 in front of my parents. Like, you know,
right.
it's different. The access is different. Everybody it's different. Everybody has their own parenting style. You
Yeah.
know, I feel some of these younger parents are trying to be their kids' friend.
Yeah.
It's just we're living in turbulent times, turbulent times right now.
Yeah, and it's difficult when, yes, we want to foster a great relationship with our kids, but we also need to impart knowledge and wisdom when we're dealing with them, right? Like
Right,
we also want to show them the right way to go,
right,
and not be lenient.
right.
It's tough. It is
It,
a tough.
it's hard. It's a fine line. It's hard. But I do believe if you instill those boundaries and guidelines when they're younger,
Yes.
it'll make as they get older easier. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I used to walk around with a wooden spoon with my kids in my purse, in the car, in my diaper bag. I didn't really have to use it much, but now I know that they know right from wrong. They're now men of service. They look out for their fellow man. They hold the door for women. They're respectful young men. And I'm not just saying that because I'd be like, Lord Jesus, I hope they're at school doing the right thing because I know they're teenagers. Lord have mercy. And when you get the good reports from unsolicited people just out the blue, it's like God telling me, job well done, my good and faithful servant.
Mm,
And
and
that's really what I strive to do. And even my kids at school, I tell them all, you got mamas and daddies at home. When you're at Pucks, you are my babies. And they know they can come to me for anything. I keep snacks. I always have extra lunches and Lunchables and stuff. Because you forget your lunch, you still need to eat, because it takes a village, you
yeah.
know. It just, and I'm only doing what I saw my dad do. I only do what I know my sister does. My aunts and uncles are in it. Because these babies are asked to be brought here in this world, and it's all of our job to help them be the best versions of themselves. And any way I can help them, that's what I'm all about, because they're our future.
Absolutely. Whitney is commenting on the sunshine. She said that is such a beautiful word.
I love it. I do. I've been saying sunshine because I have a hard time remembering everybody's name, and I tell everybody, I don't remember your name. I call you sunshine. Don't get offended. Charge it to my head and not my heart. That's what I was telling people at the convention the last 2 days because it's so many names, and I'm more seasoned than I used to be. So it's just, you know,
More seasoned. I love that. Dr. Alex is commenting. She says, "Reach one, teach one."
yes.
And
Yes.
Whitney loves my T-shirt.
Yes, yes, yes. I love butterflies. I love
She says,
butterflies.
"Where did you get that T-shirt, Inga? It's beautiful. Thank you." Um, Wally's from Walmart. I ordered it online from Walmart,
Mhm.
and
I'm
I think
probably find something close to it on Etsy. There's so much stuff on Etsy now that you can get. It's so
yes.
you
I
need.
actually want to go back and see if I can get another one because you never know, right?
It's always good to have a spare in your back pocket.
Yes, absolutely. Whitney says, "I loved my students, but it's really hard to be an educator." It is.
It is with the funding and the everything. Your state Department of Ed, the federal department. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is, and I didn't realize the level to a lot that it is. Like it's very intricate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beast of its own. But
Yeah.
when you're in your God's calling, because I tell everybody, my God's calling, so is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
word is always grace. Since I started there, 228 of last year, my word is grace. My word is grace. We have to extend as adults grace to the children, children to the adults, parents to the teachers, teachers to the parents, all the way around our board members. Because without grace, we can't do this thing. We can't. It's by
Don't,
God's grace and mercy we can get through this thing called life.
amen. And don't forget about grace for yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm working on that. I'm better than I used to be. I'm where I need to be, but I'm better than I used to be. Thank you.
Yeah. I think all of us have, we show grace to others, but it's not always easy to show it to ourselves.
That's true. True.
Dr. Alice asks, what feedback have you received from your message, Rolonda?
Um, I don't understand the question.
I think probably from your message with regards to education and it takes a village.
I've gotten all nothing but good response, and I think um I've gotten in actions and in deeds a lot of positive feedback. And I say that because
Yeah.
working at daycare, each one teach one. Um, when I see the kids in Wally World or in the mall, they run up to me and be like, Miss S, because all the kids call me Miss S because my last name is so long. And the moms or dads will be standing there looking, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm Miss S from the after, each one teach one after school." Oh, you're Miss S. Oh my God, can I give you a hug? They just love you so much. So that type of feedback lets me know that I'm doing the right thing and I'm in the right place and doing what I need to be. It's not always, oh, Miss S, you're doing a wonderful job, pats on the back. I don't, I'm not the person where I need those pats on the back, but those little gestures like that, the, the kids go home and I've impacted them enough that they communicate that to their parents. And the parents are able to connect the dots, you know, is the most rewarding part of it all.
Yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that.
Mm.
Um, it's always, and with kids, they're so innocent and they talk. So they will talk about the good and the bad.
Yes. Yes. And my one bulletin board in my office is filled up with pictures from the kids at each one teach one. I have some kids that like to draw and do artwork, and they'd be like, Miss S, this is for you. I'd be like, really? And they write, I love you, and different little messages. So I make sure they put their name on it and the date. And I put in a little protective sheet and it goes right on my bulletin board in my office.
I love that.
I get down, I'm stressed out, I'll just go and start reading them and just start looking at the pictures and just take a moment or two or five or 10 and do some mindfulness and just get recentered. And
That's
that's another
beautiful.
feedback that I know I'm where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I thank God for that every day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the topic for this conversation is the power of networking, and I wanted to switch gears and
Mhm.
get to that side. Um, what is your take on networking? Like, what do you do in terms of networking?
Um, my boys say it all. Mommy, you talk to everybody, and I will. I'll say hi, how you doing, or whatever. And I am a big proponent of networking. I am always looking to meet people, and I enjoy meeting people from different backgrounds, different professions, different life experiences, because at some point in time, I might be able to refer somebody I know to them, or they might need something and that I can help them with. I am a firm believer in teamwork makes the dream work, and there's no I in team. And of course, my teenage boys will say, well, there's an ME in team, but there's no I in team. And I'm very adamant and very intentional about networking. I think it's important. I think it's essential. I love social media to an extent, but I will take hiatuses. Um, and I do use them, and I've instilled in my children. Social media is a social networking device. It is not to air your dirty laundry, your grievances, every gripe and problem you have in your life. It is a social networking device, and that's what it's supposed to be used for. But I'm a very strong, strong supporter of networking. And if I 5 years from now know somebody, oh, well, I know so and so, maybe they can help you with that. Let me reach out to them. I'm very intentional about not just creating the contact, but when they come across my mind, send them a little message. Hey, how you doing today? You came across my mind. I'm very intentional about that because again, that might be the changing the turning point for them in their day. That might give them the extra motivation to do whatever they are struggling or procrastinating to get done or whatever.
Yeah,
Any way I can help, I'm more than willing to do my part.
yeah, I love that. That's what it's all about because you know what? We can't do, none of us can do anything alone. No man is an island, right?
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
so we need all the help that we can get, and
Exactly.
you can tell those that actually get help
Hmm.
what their life looks like, right? And then the ones that struggle and have to do things on their own.
Right.
Yeah. Um, okay. And how has networking impacted you?
I think it has impacted me greatly. I'll just use as an example me getting this first official education job. I was in the corporate world, fine, happy, working from home, raising my kids. And when the positions came open and the school reached out to me, I was like, why are they reaching out to me? But I was active with the parent association. I'm always engaged with my children's school, always have been. Um, that's a part of the village, the community. And
Hmm.
um, I was like, wow, it was God's plan for me to be there right before I turned 50 in my year of transition and to love what I do. Um, so
Mm.
that's how I've benefited from it. But I've also benefited in other ways in the sense of um, my sons have benefited from my network or from my parents' network because they'll come home and say, Mom, I met so and so today. How'd you meet them? Oh, they was at football practice with their grandson and blah, blah, blah. Because Pittsburgh is a big town. And it's just like their support system. I don't necessarily have to be at every football practice or every football game because my network of people look after my kids. And that's all about the community and the village. So I would say that's how I benefited from it, but it's also extended down to my children as well, which is an awesome thing. It's a blessing.
Yes, it is. It is. That's one thing that I miss. Not being where I grew up, and not being where my family is. Um, and it's something that my kids see when we go and we visit South Africa.
Mhm.
Because somebody will say to them, "Oh, are you Inga's daughter?"
Right, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And it's funny because my dad was a principal in Pittsburgh Public Schools for forever. And when my oldest son started the school he went to, Dilworth, nobody knew who we were. And then when my dad came for, I guess, bring your bring your dad to school day or whatever, and my ex-husband, their dad couldn't go, and he went in their place, and they were like, "Mr. Stevens, what are you doing here?" Da, da, da. And then they put the dots together, and they were like, "Mutwali, that's that baby that was crawling around on the floor when you used to run the summer program here, and this, that, and the other." And then it's just like, wow, And so, and the kids, they won't say anything. They like when they say, "Oh, well, who's your dad or who's your granddad?" Because my ex-husband works in Pittsburgh Public School System. My sister's still in Pittsburgh Public School System. My dad was in Pittsburgh Public School System. My boys are very intentional about not saying who their family is, because they're like, "Oh God, another person that knows my mom, Grammy, or my papa, or my auntie, or my mom." But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. But that helps them stay on their P's and Q's. Because I tell them, you never know who knows you. So you better be on your P's and Q's 365, 24/7.
You know what? Let me tell you a story. I'm laughing now because let me tell you a story. So, my husband is Canadian. He was born here, but his family is South African.
Okay.
And I was living when he and I met. I was living in East London, South Africa, which is a smaller uh, city to
Yep.
Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Cape Town is where like we always visit, and my family lives there now.
Okay.
But we lived in East London, and so his mom was born in East London.
Oh, wow.
We didn't know that when we met. We found out afterwards.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, well, I didn't know, right? And
Okay.
so his mom was born there, and she grew up there for a few years at least. And when my husband's aunts, his mom's sisters,
Mm-hmm.
found out that I'm in Islam, and they said, "Oh, who is she? What's her surname?" And they were trying to find out more about me.
That's funny.
And then we found out afterwards that one of his aunts actually called her friend in East London to find out about me.
Wow. That's funny.
And it's true, like you never know who knows you.
Exactly. Exactly. That's just the way it is. Um, yeah. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to say it. Yeah.
So, I love LinkedIn, and we that's where you and I met.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, how do you leverage a platform like LinkedIn or networking groups? What do you do?
Um,
How do you use it?
I use it, and I'm very intentional on it always being, um, especially after I took your boot camp. Um, I've been intentional about it being education driven, my LinkedIn account,
Mhm.
being inspirational, uplifting, but also informative,
Yeah.
um, on LinkedIn. Now, I do have two separate handles on IG, and I have two separate accounts on Facebook. And I'm very intentional about using my personal page for my personal, and using my business page for education things. But I use both of them, all of them, for inspirational, uplifting things. I hope that makes sense, my rationale. I'm working on being more organized with Canva, in the sense of scheduling different posts and different things like that based on the themes of the month, like National Women's Month, National Women's Day, things of that sort. There's getting ready to come up to teacher appreciation. So I'll try to be intentional about doing some of those things. But then also, I also try to use them in a way to um, get the word out about other um, friends of mine like yourself, or Mary Wells, or Robin Wilson, Tisha, to advertise their services and different things like that, or the Awaken in the Word, the devotion group. faith-based organization, nonprofit I'm with. So that's really how I use it. I also have a Twitter. I have two Twitters. I'm trying to get back into Twitter because of my kids, only because of my oldest son, because they use that Twitter because that's how they post their highlights. That's how colleges follow them for football and all that type of stuff. So I'm trying to get more acclimated with that. Um,
Mm.
but that's pretty much how I use it. And I've been very intentional with my children that they didn't get social media until ninth grade. Their friends had all, no, you didn't, no, we're not doing that. And they never know when I'm going to be on their social media. So their posts better be, as I say, tight and right. They're not, because there's guidelines and boundaries. I'm all
Yeah.
about guidelines and boundaries, even their friends. And their friends follow me and I follow them. And if I see something I don't like and you call me Mama Stu, I'm going to call you one. Because it takes a village. Why do you have that picture with your middle finger up? You better hurry up and take it down before I call your mama. I'm that one. And then when I see you, I'm gonna be like, now you know good and well you shouldn't have been doing that. Don't do it again.
Yeah.
Because you'll lose your privileges when it comes to Mama Stu.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because I'm not going to. It is a social networking device. Facebook, Twitter, IG, TikTok. I don't even know how to do a TikTok dance. My sons swear they're gonna teach me how to do a TikTok dance. I don't even know how to post. I know how to repost. That's all I do. That's as far as I got with TikTok. They're a social networking device and they need to be used properly. Like my
Yeah.
youngest son, he told me when he's in elementary school, Mommy, don't put my picture on social media. I don't want my face out there in the atmosphere. He's like an old soul, you know. Now my oldest son, he loves social media, but he's intentional because you will lose those privileges. But if all children use it for what it's meant for, because once
Mhm.
it's out there forever, forever. You have to be aware and think before you post stuff. I
Yeah.
talk to kids in school about that because my school is pre-K through 8, and especially the middle school kids. You know, a couple of them done some. I was like disappointed because they posting fights on their social media. I pulled their coattail. Um, I heard you got a fight on your social media. Is that what you're supposed to be doing? Well, mom, well, Miss S. Oh, okay. Does your parents know about that? You might want to get your act together because I'm disappointed.
Mm.
The village. It
Yeah.
takes a village. I'm not going to rat them out to their parents, but I'm going to let them know I see you. I see you. And that's what it's about. I don't always have to tell the parents that one
Yeah.
on one connection is important as well.
Yeah. And sometimes it's unfortunate, but sometimes kids don't care.
No, they have
Even
no
if you
regard. They
see
don't
them.
think.
Yeah. There's no shame sometimes.
Hmm. And that's sad.
Very,
Hmm.
very. Well, it has been awesome to be able to speak with you and to highlight you. Do you have any final thoughts for the people that are in our audience?
I would just say thank you, Ingrid, for the opportunity. I appreciate it. After me for a minute to do this, and I haven't done it, but I thank you. Um, I would just say everybody do better than your best, and you'll be better than your best.
Oh,
Um, keep God first. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Pick and choose your battles. Those are some of the things I'm always saying to myself that
mm,
I'll do with that. Little reminders you know, that I say to my own self.
mm, mm.
You It'll just make your day a little easier. It'll help you keep things in perspective. That's all. I will close
Thank
with that.
you.
Sure. No.
Thank you for those nuggets. And please, where can people find you so that if they'd like to connect, they can reach out?
They can reach out to me on IG. My personal page is at ROLOSTEW 412. My education consulting IG is at Reach One Teach One 412, all spelled out lowercase. Um, you can find me on what else?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. I'm Rolonda Stephens-Stewart, Stevens with a PH, hyphenated between Stevens and Stewart. On Facebook, I think I'm Rolonda Stephens-Stewart, just like I said on LinkedIn. But then I
Mhm.
also have a Reach One, Teach One education advocacy business page on there. And for some reason, my kids long time ago had a YouTube channel and they named it Wild Gang. So if you look on YouTube, there's Wild Gang. They're supposed to be helping me change the name. And then it was like, well, Mama, we like the name. And so we figuring out what we're going to do with this whole YouTube thing. Um, because I do think I want to start them, like interviewing them and their friends, doing motivational type things, especially because I have a special place for all children, but an extra,
Yeah,
extra place for brown and black boys because I'm raising two brown and black boys. But I love all the children. I don't care if you're yellow, green, purple, orange, whatever. But that's how you can reach me.
awesome.
If you can't find me, reach out to Ingor and she'll get you with me. She'll get you in touch with me. Easy peasy.
Absolutely. And she's tagged in the post for this live stream, so you can definitely reach her there. Let's just read one more. Whitney says, "We still send pictures of my son to the women who cared for him at daycare."
That
Uh,
is awesome. That is awesome. Takes a village. They still part of the village, Whitney. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Rolanda, for your time. If you don't mind waiting for me in the green room, I'm just gonna wrap up the show and I'll be with you shortly.
No problem. Everyone have a blessed day.
Thank you. And if you're still watching, thank you for being here with us. It has been amazing to be able to highlight this wonderful lady that is so passionate about children and educating them. Um, just want to wish you a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. And know that I will be back here on this show next week, Friday, with another amazing woman because it is International Women's Month. We're claiming the month, not just the day. And I will also be hosting my show, Wonder Women Wednesday, this Wednesday coming up. Watch out for the post and to see who I will be featuring. Until next time, thank you so much for being here. And thank you to our amazing sponsors, Africop Radio, an online radio station. Know that we appreciate you for being here for us. Thank you so much. And we shall see you back here next time. Take care and be blessed. Bye bye.